it was very celebratory yesterday because Baker Mayfield is staying in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And look, everybody missed on this guy last year. He did a 1-year bargain basement $4 million deal. He hit some of the upside. And now this year he was available to anyone. And I had the conversation last week trying to figure out where Baker was in play for because he hadn't signed his contract. And at one point, Jason Light, when they introduced Mike Evans' new deal last week, he said, hey, he's going to see what's out there. And by Sunday, he had accepted what the Buccaneers were offering because there was nothing better out there, nothing dramatically better. I think Baker Mayfield would have taken a little bit less than he could have gotten elsewhere to stay with the Buccaneers. But you know how the Bucs are. They don't pay signing bonuses.
Yep, right.
They don't. They don't pay signing bonuses. So you offer that same deal with a very significant signing bonus, and it becomes more attractive. You offer a little bit more with a significant signing bonus, it becomes more attractive. He wanted to stay in Tampa. He wants to have a place where he sets down roots. He loves it there. He said yesterday he and his wife, Emily, would live there in the offseason if they had gone to a different team. This works out perfectly for the Buccaneers because for the second straight year, the other teams out there didn't want him. They want somebody younger. He's only 28. They want somebody younger.
Yeah, no, I mean, and listen, I understand that too, right? You know, and there's the, hey, yeah, Baker Mayfield, he's not to maybe other cities going to be, whoa, look, we got Baker Mayfield. Look at this new shiny toy, right? I think he's in the perfect spot. Yeah, Ty goes to Tampa. I think you said it right. Even if another team maybe offered him a little bit more money, that goes to Tampa too. It's not easy to, plant roots like we talk about, become the guy. You have a rapport with Evans and some of the other guys, on the field, off the field, all of that, and then to just go somewhere else and put your plant your flag in the ground and go, oh, hey, I'm gonna take over and be the man again. That's rare. I mean, it's not easy to do. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of getting to know people. And I think that's why Tampa was probably comfortable with this. And we talked about this before with this whole situation, knowing that they had those things in their advantage, and on their side, let alone, you said it right. Baker, I think, really wants to be there. I had the chance to visit with Baker 2-3 times, towards the end of the year and talk to him a little bit. And I know, I mean, he was point blank with it about liking Tampa, liking what they got going on there, right? And his wife was happy, everything about that. So I just wasn't shocked to see this deal get done. And we talked to Jason Light, whether it was in Detroit or at the Combine, and you could tell the love and respect for Baker Mayfield was there as well, right? So there was a liking by both sides here, and Baker helped them close the Tom Brady era, and they didn't fall apart. And I think there's some love for him because of that, and then vice versa because nobody else wanted him, and the Bucs gave him a chance.
You mentioned that he planted his flag in Tampa. He's the guy who literally
Right.
planted a flag in the ground at Ohio State when Oklahoma won there. And he's always had this natural charisma that does sometimes cross the line into antisocial behavior, whether he's grabbing a body part on the sideline in college, whether he's giving reporters a hard time in Cleveland. And as he's matured, he has harnessed that, he has directed it, he still has it. He still has that thing that makes him a natural leader. It makes him a guy that the other players want to respond to and follow. And that is rare, that you have the physical talent, the arm skill to play quarterback in the NFL. Plus, you bring to the table a personality that makes you a natural, charismatic, magnetic leader. That's what he has, and Tampa Bay puts a value on that. Other teams apparently didn't.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay did, and that makes it even more of a bargain for the Buccaneers to pay $33 million a year on a 3-year deal for a guy who comes in and plays the position at a high level and is one of the best current natural leaders at the quarterback position in football. Kind of a throwback mentality,
Yep.
Drop your head and gain the tough yards in the right circumstances. We don't advocate that on a regular basis for quarterbacks. That separates him from other quarterbacks who just aren't that way. And it's not something you can coach. It's not something you can teach. It's not something you can learn. It's who you are, period. And he fully leans into who he is. That's what makes it even better. So on the issue of money, let's hear a little yesterday from Baker Mayfield. He was asked this question. Kirk Cousins in Atlanta, bigger contract. Baker, did you leave money on the table to come back to Tampa Bay?
Maybe not.
any day now. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, I said it immediately after our Detroit game. Following the loss, there's to build a winning team and to have a lot of the key pieces that we needed back to continue this run and improve it. Some sacrifices have to be made. Now, listen, this is life-changing money, and I'm not going to act like otherwise. It's something that I've worked extremely hard for over the years and many years of football, so I'm grateful for it. I'm a winner at heart. I hate losing, so knowing that we get a lot of guys back and we can continue to build this for years to come it's a special thing.
No state taxes.
That's a good point.
Use that one a lot.
Hey, but that's all the more reason to ask for a signing bonus, because you don't pay the state tax on the signing bonus. When you get your money in salary, when you play on the road in a state that has income taxes, you got to pay. They go to San Francisco, he's paying 13.3%.
That's right.
Of that game check.
Right.
So, that, on one hand, the Buccaneers can say, hey, we don't have to pay these signing bonuses because we don't have state income taxes. On the other hand, I'd rather have a signing bonus or a roster bonus or something that is paid to me here so I don't have to pay state income tax on the road elsewhere. Anyway, look, this gets back to that balance that we try to strike, that argument that we get into from time to time. Get as much as you can while you can versus leave some behind so you have enough help around you. And it drives me crazy because this entire system has warped the mentality of players and created a dilemma for them that they shouldn't have, because the teams can afford to pay everyone what they're worth. But you create this artificial bean counting system that forces a player to say, oh, am I being selfish?
Yeah.
Oh, am I? But it's not a matter of being selfish versus the oligarch who has a 300-foot yacht. It's selfish versus the guy next to you that you're trying to lead out onto the field, into the fray, into the effort to try to win enough games to go to the playoffs. It really is, if you think about it, it's genius. It's diabolical. That was the word I was searching for. It's diabolical that they've come up with this way to create a dilemma for the players so they don't ask for more. So they don't carry the bowl of gruel up and say, please, sir, may I have some more? Because every additional spoon you're taking is coming away from one of your teammates.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, first off, I didn't expect him to get as much money as Kirk Cousins. I mean, Kirk Cousins has been a bona fide, top 10, top 12 starter for a number of years here, right? So I didn't expect that. I mean, Kirk Cousins, especially the last 2 years, played at a really high level, right? I mean, we've talked about it. It was up and down the field with Minnesota. They went 13-4 with the worst defense in football, like not even close 2 years ago. So Kirk Cousins has planted his flag in the ground a little bit more of as a established, viewed as a guy that, hey, you can build an offense around and win a lot of games with around the NFL. Baker Mayfield is still in the category, even though he's not there with us totally, right? And I'm sure he changed a lot of minds this year. I think he's still I don't know, how good is he? Is this 1 year? Whatever. So I didn't expect him to get the same money. I think the other part of that conversation too, that goes back to, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. That's where Brady, did great things for his own team, right? He didn't raise his hands. That's where, and go, I want less money. They lowballed offer him, and then they figured it out from there. And just like most of the Patriot players, they didn't go test the market or ever go, hey, screw you. They let Bill back them into the corner, and that's one of my reasons I think they're bitter towards him now, because they look and go, I should have made a lot more money, right? And I want to go, well, you should have tested the market, but you let the Patriots corner you, and you weren't, a lot of them, I'm not sure if they thought how good they were if they left the Patriots, right? But that's what started it. Then Rodgers accepting his contract and being team friendly probably for a few too many years. Then Mahomes with that contract. So it's become a thing for quarterbacks. It's a talking point. Any radio station I go on talk about, well, maybe he should take less, right, to make the team better, do all of that. And, yes, it's like you always talk about. It's quarterbacks who want to win. They want the guys they want in the locker room, and that gets used against them. by the owners and by the teams and by the media and the public pressure in these conversations to then not, maybe hold the team down to every penny they could get. And that's unfortunate. But, again, like he said, it is life-changing money. He's in a good spot here. But, yeah, I think that's what started it, Mike, at least in my view. I don't know. You got a different view of that?
Well, and I also look at the reality that he has seen his football life flash before
That's true,
his
too.
eyes.
Right.
When you consider the
Right.
past couple of years. After the 2020 season, remember, there was, and I think it was Joe Thomas that was putting out there that the Browns had offered him $30 million a year, and people were like, oh, he didn't take $30 million a year. It's like, well, no, he's potentially worth $40 million a year. So, no. But when he gets injured in week 2 because he's making a tackle after a turnover and it derails his career in Cleveland, and then he gives up money that he was fully guaranteed to earn to go to Carolina to try to restart things, and Carolina ends up being a shit show that year. Sorry, Nelson. And then he goes to the Rams and has that great Thursday night game, and we think, oh, that's going to be the key to him getting some kind of real contract in free agency, and he gets a 1-year, $4 million deal. Again, that's not horrible money, but as NFL quarterbacks go, it's peanuts.
Yeah.
To take that and parlay it into a $100 million contract that he never thought he was going to get. Think about the dark hours.
Yeah, that's right.
The moments when you're trying to fall asleep.
I hear
when you're
you.
assessing where your life is in comparison to where you thought your life was going to be. This was a guy that always oozed confidence. He knew he was going to be the top pick in the draft.
Yeah.
When people were like, hey, you're the top pick in the draft? Get out of here. Top pick in the draft. He always believed, and it always manifested itself. And finally, the things he believed in, the things he was willing himself to weren't happening. You start to think you're losing your skills. You start to question anything you ever believed in. So to have this ship come in with him, with 9 figures written along the side of it, that validates everything he's always believed. So he's not going to say no to that.
That's right.
He's not going to say, I'll go somewhere else for a little bit more. This is the place where I was able to make everything I've always believed come to fruition. There's no way I'm leaving.
I think that's exactly right. That is. And hey, listen, as an ex-player or whatever, I've been there. I told you the story before I hurt my spleen. They offered me $10 million guaranteed. I said, no, I'm going to be worth more than that next year when I'm a free agent, right? I got hurt, blah, blah, blah. Days were dark. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I should have more money, my career. I should have. And then, I got healthy and got a decent little contract with the Denver Broncos in 2008. And I was grateful just to get a few million, right? I was, oh my gosh. Right, because my expectations, my world had been turned upside down to where I was going, man, I'm on top, I'm here gonna get a $20 million signing bonus here, and then it went to, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna even be able to play again. Oh, wait, okay, I can play. I don't know if I'll ever be able to start and be good again. And then I got to that point where I was like, wait, I feel pretty good. I'm close to the normal Chris Simms again, and I got a little money as a backup quarterback, and I was so grateful and happy. So, I think you're right, Mike. I think expectations change, let alone I think you and me know, right? I mean, we meet quarterbacks all the time. He's got the personality and the persona that you talk about that oozes starting quarterback, the way he acts, right? And then he has starting quarterback talent. His arm is elite. Baker Mayfield's arm is one of the stronger arms in football. It can make throws that, a lot of guys in the game can't. I mean, in fact, Ahmed and Fareed and I were talking about it on my podcast the other day because during the halftime of the Lions-Bucks game, right, we're on the field getting ready to do the halftime report there, and Baker made a few throws on that last drive when they went on that 92-yard touchdown drive before the half where you went, whoa, those were, missiles he threw through the air there. So you add that arm, and then you add to what Jason Licht talked about, the prick element, right? That's usually a good thing as far as a quarterback. I'm sorry, I'm just using his words. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but hey, head coaches, offensive coordinators, they like when their coach or their quarterback is a little bit of a prick. Their team is different that way. That's the way it is, right? I mean, John Gruden used to give me these lessons too. He'd always tell me things where we'd be watching film and we'd watching it and he'd be making his faces and somebody made a mistake or whatever. And he'd be like, Simms, what would Joe Montana say right now? Because he would say this to me as a rookie, so I always had to say, it'd be year 4, and he'd be like, and I'd have to sell, hey, what the F are you doing, blah, 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 because he'd always told me as a rookie, Joe Montana, if you messed up, you were going to hear about it, and he was going to get on you. So, yeah, coaches like that because they don't always want to be the bad guy. Like we talk about with Brady in New England or anywhere else, you know, his ability to be a little bit of a jerk on the sideline, yell at guys on the field, on the practice field, and then have a nice human touch off the field. But that's like an extension of the coaching staff. And I think that's where Baker Mayfield has changed, like you were talking about from Cleveland, where it might have been a little too prickly and maybe a little too, bravado and I'm the man. And now he's found just the right touch of like, I'm the man, I'm the leader, right? But we're about our business and we got to get things right. And I think he's found the right touch there, and that's why they like him so much in Tampa Bay.
What Joe Montana would have said to John Gruden is, if you don't shut your damn mouth and quit yapping at me like a chihuahua, I'm going to stuff you in a footlocker and throw you in the Hillsborough River. That's what Joe Montana would have said to John Gruden. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.